let's talk about generating leads for your network marketing business. You know that if you don't get people to see your opportunity presentation or your products, then you won't make any money, right? So generating new leads every single day is essential to the survival and overall success of your business. But most people don't know where to start, aside from talking to their immediate circle of influence, which in of itself is a good starting point. But it's definitely not a sustainable strategy if you hope to start making enough money to make this whole venture worth your while. So before I go on, if you would like to learn how to generate more leads for your network marketing business, drop a 1 in the comments box below. So my objective today is to talk about the different strategies which are available to you from a general standpoint, discussing the pros and cons of each one so that you can have a much better idea of which strategy would work best for you, depending on where you are right now in your business. So in general terms, network marketing lead generation strategies fall into two broad categories, namely free lead generation strategies and paid lead generation strategies. Now keep in mind that the free lead generation strategies are really not free in the true sense of the word, because they do require your time to implement, which, if you really think about it, is worth something. So with the free strategies, you pay with your time. In addition to these two broad categories, there is also an intersection within those two categories of two other strategies, namely passive prospecting strategies and active prospecting strategies. So let's break it all down so that you can get a clearer understanding of what I'm saying here. So let's start with the so-called free lead generation strategies. Free lead generation strategies fall within the two other categories I mentioned earlier, which are active and prospecting and passive prospecting. So in the case of the free active prospecting strategy, this is where you go and seek out people primarily on a one-on-one basis to talk to about your business. This can be done in person or through private messaging and by making connections on social media. So the main advantage of this method is that you can get leads for your business very quickly using this method, but the downside is that it's really very, very time intensive, and there is no leverage with this approach. The minute you stop connecting with new people every day is the same minute that your lead flow dries up, which is not good for your business. One very important thing that you also have to think about if you want to use this lead generation strategy is your personality type. Are you naturally introverted or extroverted? If you're an introvert by nature, I can tell you that you'd most likely struggle to make any appreciable headway with free active prospecting, because it does require that you reach out and approach strangers to prospect them. It's also important to note that you need to develop your sales skills, because it is prospecting after all, and you have to get good at convincing people. So now let's talk about free passive marketing strategies to generate leads for your business. So free passive strategies include things like making live video broadcasts on social media, video marketing and blogging and things like that. With this strategy, the approach is completely different, because your objective is to grow your audience organically with the content that you put out, either in your videos, blog posts, and all of that. So it does take a fair bit of time to attain that growth, Also, your content has to be something of value and relevant to your target audience. It definitely cannot be a sales pitch, as was applicable in the first strategy we discussed. So what this means is that you generally have to develop some core expertise in a subject matter that's related to your business opportunity, so as to have valuable information that you can share regularly with your growing audience. You can't just show up every day and bloviate, because no one will pay you any attention, and it will be a complete waste of your time. So another thing to consider if you choose this approach is that you have to be you've got to be quite disciplined and consistent with your free passive marketing in order to remain relevant to your growing audience. So in summary, the free passive marketing approach to generating leads for your network marketing business, it takes time to gain traction, requires you to learn the skills, learn to the extent where you develop a core expertise in your subject matter. But it has the advantage of leverage, because your content, be it in the form of written words, audio, or video, remains on the internet, generating leads for you for a long time. So it's a long-term approach. So finally, let's talk about paid lead generation. Specifically paid lead generation, where it intersects with your passive prospecting strategy. So this approach is quite similar to the last strategy we just discussed, in the sense that it also involves creating content, but the primary difference is that using paid advertising allows you to get the benefit of generating leads almost instantaneously, just as was the case of active prospecting. And it does so in a highly leveraged manner. So you're not having to approach each person individually. Therefore, this approach is a really leveraged activity, which allows you to build your business fast, especially if you're just starting out. But it does come with its own downside, obviously. It costs money. You've got to fork out money right off the bat to pay for your advertising. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually spend a whole bunch of money and get absolutely nothing in return for it. However, I must add here that there are ways to actually use this strategy without having to pay for the advertising out of your own pocket. In fact, this is an advanced technique that if you get right, you can actually make money from your advertising. And then once you're doing that, that's where true scale comes in, because you can scale your business to great heights. Because essentially what you're doing at that point, the money that you're actually making, you can now put it back into more advertising, which generates even more leads, which turn into more customers and team members. So there you have it, my friends. 3 different lead generation strategies for your network marketing business in a broad sense, along with the pros and cons of each one. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed watching this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. And if you did, please leave a comment below to let me know. Also, I'd like to invite you to a live training webinar that I'm holding this week, in which I will teach you one of the strategies I used to generate leads for my network marketing business. This strategy alone has generated over 900 brand new leads for my business in the last 2 months alone. On this webinar, I will show you step by step what I did and exactly why it works so well. So if you'd like to attend that, just click the Learn More button directly below this video, and you'll be taken straight to the registration page where you can register to attend this live training session. So that's it for today's lesson, my friends. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.